What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the RFD show. This is the In Other News segment hosted by me, Dan the Man, or Daniel, as you can find me on most of my profiles. So this is a segment where I headline what's been in the news and just talk about it for a brief couple of seconds, and then you can go read about it. Obviously, the links will not be in descriptions because it's not our articles, but you will find our videos and our podcast upon with these. So, focusing on what the Harlequins team in England is doing is that Dimitri Kodakoulis obviously was not part of them anymore, and he came back to South Africa, wanted to play for the Kings or play for some teams here, and he tried to play for the Kings, and then a couple of days ago he decided to retire. So all the best for him and what he's going to do further with his life. All the best forward. Also coming out of Harlequins is that Chris Robshaw will be moving to the San Diego Legion after the season is over, the Premiership season is over. Based off him, he has signed a 2-year contract, I believe, and that he will move on to play there after the season ends. And obviously had a couple of good years with Harlequins and for England, and always been a loyal supporter of what he's been doing, and I've always been a fan of him. Then moving on back to the Southern Kings in South Africa. South African Rugby will actually be taking over the Kings once again from being the private union that they were. They'll be taking over and being in management as the Kings are failed to pay their staff and their players, and they missed it. I think they missed the deadline in April with 10 days, and there's been speculation they'll miss the June and the July payments, being behind and being not up to date with their finances. So there's been a lot of stuff going on in the Kings. Obviously one of the unions in South Africa that's not the best managed, not yet based to their ability being managed. So we'll see what can go on there if South African Rugby can just put the hand there, help them to get to the standard, and obviously it can be a worthwhile union to use in this nation, to use forward in Super Rugby as well. Hopefully get back to Super Rugby or just a local competition maybe to be a feeder for the Springboks hopefully one day, because players like Makazole Mapimpi came from there. I believe Lukhanyo played there for a while as well. So the great feeder, so hopefully they can just get back into what they were and just become a great club once again. But that's all for this episode. Thank you guys for joining in this segment. This is a shorter segment and it only will be headlining news. So please check out our other podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, this one is obviously, then you can go to check on Spotify and obviously vice versa. And we're on YouTube as well. And then remember, check out rugbyfordays.com, and we are on all social media platforms. Please hit us up what you guys want us to talk about. We'll definitely cover that in an episode, whether it be podcast or on YouTube. And then we'll see you guys next episode.